Hey everyone, I wanted to talk about our practice player program, what it entails, what you get, the cost, all of that good stuff. So I'm gonna jump right into it. So the practice players, they are basically just like our full-time players. So they get treated just like them. They get all the same practices through the winter as our full-time players. Some of them, actually many of them, are invited to play in tournaments at no extra cost above the practice player fee. When we need players to come and play with us on a weekend, if a player gets hurt, if a player is out of town for a wedding, a vacation. Actually, I believe this weekend here in May, we've got 3 or 4 of our practice players playing with our teams this weekend and all throughout the rest of the season. So they are the first set of players that we look to fill roster spots if and when needed, and we look for them to fill any holes in our rosters if and when needed. So they're valuable pieces to our program. And the other great thing, they get yearly facility access to our indoor academy. So that is access from 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. Every day, 365 days a year. There is a code on the door that is accessible for them to go use, and they can use that at their leisure, as long as there's no rental or practice going on. So those are the main benefits. They're going to get one practice a week. If you're 14U and down, basically from December through the middle of March, and then you're going to get at least 2 per week from the middle of March until basically the 3rd week of April to the end of April, or until the 1st week of the tournament season for that particular age group. And then they would be done, and then they would go play for their local team or whatever team that they're playing for full time. If they're a high school kid, they would practice. We basically start sometime in November. We start pretty slow, once a week. Then we get into middle of December. We go at least twice a week, all the way through the 2nd week in March, when those boys go back to their high school practices. And then from there they have their high school seasons, and then we won't see them for a while because they're in high school ball. But all throughout that time, they are able and allowed to still use the facility on their own. So it's basically from the time they accept the roster spot or the practice player spot in late July, they would have access to the facility until the next tryout. So that player, even though let's say the boy's in 8th grade and that's 14U, and the 14U season starts in late April, they would still have facility access for May, June, and most of July. So until tryouts come again that following July, they will have facility access for nearly 12 months. So it's a really nice benefit of being a practice player. So you're going to get a lot of practices over the winter. You're going to have facility access and the possibility of playing in tournaments with our teams at no extra charge, which is a really nice piece to the practice player thing. We have many of our practice players. I would say the majority of our practice players eventually become full-time players. It's a great way to kind of get your feet wet here at CBT. You get accustomed to our coaching staff, the way that we do things, the way that we coach, and the majority of the time, the players will come on full-time after a year or two and join us full-time. So it's a great way to kind of get started with us and get your feet wet and see what we're all about. So great way to get in with us and get involved with us, and we love our practice players. They've they've helped us tremendously. It's a program that I implemented way back even before CBT started back in my Panther days, and it's something that I've really enjoyed getting to know some more players outside of the program, and they've really helped us in many different ways with filling gaps and just being good players and helping us at practices and filling in at games and just meeting more people, more kids that love the game of baseball. So that's what our practice player option is, and that is open to anyone in all of our age groups, basically 8U all the way through 17U. So it's open to any age range if you want to improve your baseball